between TNA and WWE. Yeah, there is a bit of a problem with that.
I wouldn't really call it a war, more of a disaster.
TNA has gone back to Monday night because they know they can't compete with WWE. So they've got to build their profit up before they could get that level. But from what I've heard, I don't think TNA can make it that far. No. You see, I've started recently watching something, Jim Cornette, who's slamming who on jimcornette.com, and he says they're trying to be entertainment when they don't have the fundings for, unlike WWE. Yeah. Now, I was actually hoping Hogan would do a big thing, but I should have realised this is Hogan we're talking about. Yeah, favorite wrestler of mine, I know, but it's not on. What he's doing is not on. Especially something...
He shouldn't even be in the ring.
Jamie told me here. Yeah. He said that Hogan is going to let go of 15 young superstars from TNA, or wrestlers, I should say. Sorry.
It's incredible. Like if they're having problems with money in TNA, it's a simple idea: is either get rid of Hogan or cut his wages. Because he's obviously the top earner in TNA.
He has to be. That's how they hire him. And this is an actual fact. I was a few feet away from that signing. I was in New York, 30th 4th Avenue, from a few feet from Madison Square Garden. I could have seen that, but you know, that's life.
They kind of recap. I remember when Hogan first signed with TNA there, yeah. And I remember a friend of mine told me, Jared's his name by the way, he knows who he is. I remember when I heard the news first, I was like, nah, this is a load of BS, you know. I think this is a load of shit. They can't. Hogan's not going to come to TNA because I know the likes of Jared.
Yeah, Jared wouldn't let him after smashing the guitar on his back on Japanese press conference, 2003, I think. But lo and behold, he's there now.
Yeah.
Jim Cornette made a funny statement. He said, Hogan doesn't know his own situation, you know. He was coming in and saying, I was in the back all day long. He said, no you weren't, you fucking idiot, you just drove in. Can't you keep track of your own format? Jim Cornette speaks a lot of truth about the whole wrestling world, not just WWE, TNA, because they let him go because of creative differences, aka Vince Russo.
But you knew that the Monday Night Wars wasn't going to work, especially on the first night TNA had there, and when not even 5 minutes in, and all you could hear the people going was bullshit. This is bullshit.
You see, TNA don't have the funding to do that. WCW did. You see, they had Ted Turner. What they needed was a leader, and they had Eric Bischoff. But I don't think Eric Bischoff is passionate anymore about doing it. All they want to do is get money so they can fix their own finances. Like Hulk Hogan, his divorce is sucking him dry. His ex-wife is sucking him dry, so he needs the funding from TNA to fund a perfect retirement. And he's suing Pebbles Bam Bam fruit cereal in the process for using a character called Hulk Boulder.
Which is totally ridiculous.
I wouldn't even make a big deal of that. I would love to be in a Flintstones commercial. Hell, I'd love to be in a Roadrunner commercial. But back to the topic. Let's talk about Brian Danielson next.
Yeah, a very talented young wrestler who wrestled for many years.
Yeah, we were just watching his last match with Austin Aries.
Brilliant match, by the way. If you haven't seen it,
yeah, so much passion.
Take off the DVD. Worth the buy.
But it just boggled my mind. How could they call Brian Daniels a rookie, or Brian, whatever the hell you want to call him, to The Miz? The Miz hasn't done anything really.
No.
And you hear Michael Cole going, what a rookie, what a
geek and all this.
So, how could a man like him call McGee? Now, I used to feel sorry for Michael Cole back in the Attitude Era. Everyone would be going, what do you think? If you don't get that mic out of my face, I'm going to shove it up your ass. And I was thinking, oh, these guys are such bully boys. But I can actually understand why, because he's a bootlicker, who just does what the boss says and gets ahead in the company. What Brian Danielson was so true, what he said, even though it was a work shoot, it centered a lot on a lot of realistic subjects in the wrestling world.
Talk with a lot of, there was all the politics in WWE.
Yeah, and Vince McMahon favors big guys, and that's just not fair.
No one else has really put it out there and said it like that.
Everyone knows who's going to win next. It's this fella going out with a celebrity fashion model. Who is he? I forget his name. I don't know. I forget his name.
Yeah, Tonga guy.
Oh yeah, the Tonga. Well, another thing Jamie here told me is next the next one, next two, Loki's going to be in it, Senshi, and he's going to be coached by what was the names again?
Michelle McCool and Layla.
How could they be experts, and how could they call him a rookie? I've seen him in TNA. He's fantastic. Yeah. Even though GK2 thinks his Warriors way is a crap-looking finish move, he's got great talent in the ring.
And his new name is going to be called Caval, in case anyone didn't know.
Oh, sounds very like Daivari, who's rumoured to go back to WWE. Who cares?
Just let him off his crap anyway.
Yeah. What else I talk about?
Daivari thought his talent to Cena, which isn't saying much.
Yeah.
Anyway, another story for another day.
Yeah, it just forces you to watch TNA. That's what Jim Cornette does on JimCornette.com. He advertises Ring of Honor if you watch it. Now, I just watched my first main event match. It was worth the time. And I should make more time to watch it on YouTube. But I like a bit of flair. But the wrestling world doesn't seem to provide it. Look what TNA's done. They turned Orlando Jordan into a fashionable transvestite. Could anyone see that coming? The most disturbing thing he did was spray that cream on his chest.
There's no sense in TNA anymore. Everything's done too fast, and there's no, like, oh, how did this happen, or...
Yeah, like, RVD joining was great, but they made him the champion too soon.
Too quick, yeah.
That could have been a main eventer. The same with Jeff Hardy versus Sting, or RVD versus Sting. He won it in a few seconds, and he got beaten with to a pulp with a baseball bat. That doesn't make sense.
What I can't really understand is one thing is that, you know, when Samoa Joe apparently got abducted and all this, the fact that they hadn't disappeared the whole time. I mean, obviously Samoa Joe is what I was shouted out when I was standing for wrestlers in the world today, and to have him out and then come back, I mean, okay, I can obviously see they're probably going to do something with him eventually, like, you know, but to keep a guy like Samoa Joe outside the circle of becoming world champion or whatever, you know, which it is ridiculous.
But that's Vince Russo. Vince Russo doesn't believe in wrestling. He just said it's a bunch of guys pretending to hit each other, and he probably claims he's responsible for the most influential ideas ever. But he's vulgar himself. I mean, he and his friend, I forget his name, but he was called Oklahoma in WCW, made fun of Jim Ross's Bell's palsy disability, and that's not right. That's sick to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
He doesn't like him. That's why Jim Cornette said on Jim Cornette, Who Slamming Who, he said, if I have to wheel myself to his grave, I'll piss in it and say, I outlasted you, motherfucker, because he stated, assholes live forever while good people die young. I mean, wrestling is such a terrible state today. Passionate wrestling fans have grown out of it. They just gave up on it. They've lost their faith.
Only companies doing great by wrestling standards anymore is obviously Ring of Honor Wrestling, and the way wrestling is going these days, I'd actually prefer to watch Ring of Honor than WWE or TNA. And as any of the guys here know, like, I'm a huge TNA fan. I've lost faith in WWE. That's not changed in that point, but really starting to respect Ring of Honor every time, like, I watch it, like, you know, and I think my support will sway over to Ring of Honor in a matter of time, like, where Ring of Honor will be my only interest. I'm sure a lot of fans are like that too, but there you go.
Okay. Do you mind if I put in?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I watched NXT just like everyone else, and the only talented person that I saw in that was Daniel Bryan.
Or Bryan Danielson.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And yet they make him look like a total fucking idiot.
I mean, giving out flyers to the fans and saying I should be knocked off. Why would anyone say that? That's like saying I don't want to be in Hollywood. I don't want to win the X Factor. Why would anyone say that?
Well, that promo that he did, not only was that beautiful, but Michael Cole had what was coming.
Definitely.
Yeah. Is that all we're having? Alright, so I think we'll sign up now. I'm Brew25.
Jack, the Impact. The next video is coming soon, by the way.